Hello everybody, and today for part 2 of the Theatre of Magic repair we've got the CPU board and the power driver board on the bench. Both have got issues that need resolving. Now the CPU board's got a voltage drop issue, so we've got some new power connectors on there, some reflowing around the power section. We've also got a switch fault, there's some previous repairs in here with a bit dodgy soldering, lots of brown flux on there. I'll clean that up. So I'll start looking around this area first. But yeah, the back or exit button does not work in this cab, even though the switch tests fine and the wiring tests fine. So there's probably a fault here. Power driver board, we've got some really crappy connectors, particularly around the GI. They've been soldered on previously and then the solder taken off, and then someone's tried to jam connectors on, they just do not fit anymore. Same over here with the power connectors, we've got soldering on, they're a complete mess. So basically, incoming power as well, they've got sort of burnt connectors, so we want to replace all those power connectors as they're crucial for proper game operations. I've got a few connectors here, I've got some more actually than this. Oh yeah, there's a solenoid not working, I think it was the top hot bumper if I remember rightly. I'll have to check my video. Right, oh, and the fuses. Oh, the fuses are not good on this. I really don't understand why these retarded people that think they know how to operate pinball machines just put random fuses into games. So, what have we got here? So we've got F116, is that? Yep, so F116 should be 3 amp. And that's a 7.5 amp there. Excellent, so that's going to be really useful. What have we got here? So this is F115, that should be a 3/4 amp or 750 milliamp, and we've got a 3 amp. Brilliant, yeah, that's really useful. 108, that should be a 5 amp, we've got an 8 amp, yeah, you know, not good, but not a million miles out. This one's broken, this should be a 5 amp, this is a GI fuse. That will explain part of the GI not working, just completely broken fuse, yeah. What have we got now? Right, so what have we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4. F104 should be 3 amp, and that's a 10 amp. That's really, really bad. F105 should be 3 amp, and that's a 10 amp. Again, that's really bad. What's this? F105? No, F11. That's F111. That should be a 5 amp, and it's a 10 amp. Again, that's really bad. And this is my favourite one. This should be a 7 amp here at F112, and that's a 15 amp. You might as well just put a screwdriver or a piece of metal across there, because a 15 amp is not going to blow. If you've got a coil or something shorting out, it's just going to smoke and melt away, because that is not going to blow. So that's really stupid. So I'm going to put all new fuses on here, or at least all these dodgy ones, and then get on with these connectors. Okay, so I've removed all the power connectors and the burnt GI connectors, power connectors over there, power connector on the CPU board. So I'm just going to start fitting the new connectors. Also, I'm going to clean up this. Look at this, it's got brown corrosive flux on there, so get that cleaned up before it goes conductive if it isn't already. And for the cleaning, I've brushed in and then wiped off isopropyl alcohol 2 or 3 times, and it still needs to dry, but if you have a look, that's much cleaner now. There we go. This transistor here's a bit of a joke. It's super dry jointy. Look at that. That's going to have to be whipped out and replaced. The other side is just as bad. Look at that. Lovely soldering. So yeah, I'll whip that out, clean that up, and I think we might need to bridge the tracks if it's weakened things there. Okay, so I just pulled up the manual for Theatre of Magic to find out what Q50 is. Now if I asked you to bet what it is, what would you say? So let's look, we've got Q50 there. We look across and it's Top Jet, which is the top hot bumper. So I think that is the mystery explained as to why that top hot bumper was not working. That transistor was mangled. Let's get it replaced and hopefully that solves the problem. And there we have it, Q50 now installed properly. I've had to use quite big blobs of solder because the tracks were all sort of damaged where this idiot's had a go at soldering and done a really bad job. But that should be pretty good. Same on the other side, just need to clean the flux off, but that's nice and neatly done rather than the previous attempt. Again, people that don't know what they're doing should not be working on circuit boards. Okay, so I think this board is probably okay now, and we can move on. Okay, so I put all the right fuses in now. We've got new power connectors, new GI connectors, got the bad transistor replaced, flux cleaned off the back of the board. So I think this one's all ready now, hopefully, and we'll move on to the CPU board. Right, it seems that the exit switch, which is the D5 switch on the dedicated switch, is there. That goes through this LM339, which appeared to be faulty, so I've just put a socket in and a new LM339. got the new power connector on. I've cleaned up all that horrible solder flux. What else are we going to do? Oh right, yeah, I'm going to solder onto the back of here some dedicated battery wires, so we can put a nice long leaded remote battery on. The original board design basically has like a daughter board here, and this one was leaking, had leaky batteries in it. It's not safe really to keep the batteries on the board at all, so I'm going to put a proper long leaded battery holder on so it can remote right into the corner, and that's pretty much it. Hopefully, I don't have a WPCS game here, so I can't test this board other than powering it up on the bench and checking it's actually running. So we'll have to try it out in the Theatre of Magic machine once I'm finished. The battery box that John's given me to fit is this silly one with croc clip leads on the end. So I'm just going to snip these off, and then I'm going to join it up to these wires that I've just soldered on to the connector here, nice and neatly. Yeah, so in a pinball machine, it's a high vibration environment. Always solder join your wires, don't just twist them together and put a bit of tape over. That is not an acceptable solution. So I'm going to cut these off, strip some wire, solder them together, and then put some heat shrink tubing over like that, and then heat shrink it over. That'll make a nice, good, reliable lifetime connection. And the battery box is joined on, heat shrinked, all cable clipped, and that's a remote battery box ready and done. Just need to stick some extra strong self-adhesive strips on the back. That'll mount into the side of the back box right away from the board.